Hi there, thank you for joining me. Susie Powers here. I'm gonna go through a consultation theory for you today. We're gonna go through all the elements of what we need to ask and really get to the bottom of with our client. How do we describe and explain what's realistic? How do we say no? Let's get into it. Let's talk about this. I think all of us as hairdressers know it's the most important part of our service, because if we don't really get to a clear understanding of what the client wants, what she expects, it can be a nightmare of a day. I know for me, there's been times where when I walked away from a consultation and thought, do I really know what she's asking for? Or do I really feel like she got what I described? Every time I feel that way now, I'll turn around and walk right back over to my station and go, okay, just to make sure. So let's get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself. See, I get really passionate and excited about this stuff. So for me, with my consultations, the very first question I ask every single client that sits in my chair is, what can I do for you today? What can I do for you today really opens up the opportunity for them to say anything. Make me feel more youthful. Make me feel better. Make me feel younger. Make me not have gray. Make me have dimension. Make me have some body. You know, there are so many different avenues that they can go. It's going to let me know where they are in their emotional state, how they're feeling about themselves, which is key for me to be able to relate with them and lift them up, boost them up, and make them feel better. I know the hair in general is going to make them feel good. You know, we make their hair look beautiful and that makes them feel beautiful. That's the name of the game. But to really ask, what can I do for you today? And she goes into, oh, it's just so nice being with you. I had a client the other day, you know, we're a year into COVID and she lives alone. Her son is grown and moved on and, you know, lives in a different state. And what can I do for you today? And her answer was, just be with me. So I could have done nothing and just hung out and talked to her. And that would have been great, because she was lonely. She needed someone to talk to. She needed someone to be around. And that's what she needed that day. And so that was important for me to understand. No matter where we go with the color today, she needs comfort. She needs love. She needs support. She needs camaraderie, right? So what can I do for you today is always my first question, to really understand that human being that's sitting in my chair. When was your last hair service? You can ask when were your last salon services, for those of you who do absolutely everything. For me, I do all chemical services behind my chair. And I do, you know, a very small amount of trimming and cutting. I have a beautiful hair cutting team that I love to promote and share my clients with. I am definitely a chemical artist. Color, corrective color, bleach and tones. I love doing reds. Permanent waves I've been raised on my whole career. I can do a very beautiful, quick spiral, thioglycolate relaxers, sodium relaxers, Japanese straighteners. I've done keratin smoothing treatments. So I'm definitely on the chemical realm, but I certainly know how to cut, shape, and style hair. For me, really knowing when their last service is talks to me about how they take care of themselves, their maintenance, their lifestyle. They might be way too busy to get in a lot. I have a few clients that have 5, 6 children. I don't know how they see me at all, let alone remember the name. So sometimes it's lifestyle, sometimes it's financial. So it gives me an opportunity to understand how often they come in, how often they're servicing for beauty, to be able to make the right decisions with what we're going to guide and go to create today with the service. If it's a client that, you know, well, the last time she was in was 4 months ago, then I'm going to think, all right, maybe she's a quarterly salon visitor. So that's going to be 4 times a year. So I'm not going to guide her into a bleach and tone anytime soon. You know, a service that's extreme maintenance, short haircuts that are more maintenance. You know, my short hair clients need to come in for a trim every 4 to 6 weeks to maintain that style. So it helps me really start going down that path of what services I would or would not suggest based on the last time they were in, how often they're in the salon, what has been done on your hair in the last year. It's important that you go through this question. Have they had a keratin smoothing treatment? Have they had highlights last spring, summer, and now they've covered over it with color? Do they have highlights underneath? How many layers of highlights? Have they done a highlight and they colored over it, then they did a highlight and then they covered over it? What do we have? Did they have a perm on their hair? Do they have a relaxer on their hair? If you have a client that has hair, to their collarbone or below, that hair's been on their head for a couple years or more. I have some clients that have really let their hair grow, gorgeous, past their bra strap, in between their bra strap and their hip. Well, that means it's been on their head for over 3 years. So 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, did you get a highlight? Did you have a color when you finished it? These are the things we want to ask. What's your desired maintenance? And that again kind of touches on what we were learning. How often do you want to visit the salon? And how do you feel about regrowth? I honestly, I think this for me is really takes the pressure off of price. Because when I'm talking to a client about how often they want to be in, how many times a year are you and I going to see each other? Well, I can't come in a lot, I work a lot, or I have a lot of kids, or I don't care about how often I need to be in, I want to look like this. You're going to get one of those responses, and it might be a variety of one of those. But a lot of times I have clients that are like, typically I come in every 8 to 10 weeks. Typically I come in when I see my regrowth. So for me, as a hairdresser, knowing that hair grows about 1/2 inch a month, I have some clients that, and myself, my hair grows maybe 1/4 inch a month. I wish it grew at 1/2 inch or 1 inch a month. And then I have some clients, my best friend, her hair grows 1 inch a month. So bitter. I wish my hair grew. She has roots like that. So obviously, if she does not want to see her gray or white and her hair grows fast, she's going to be in more often. So what's your desired maintenance and how often do you want to visit the salon? Those are really important questions to get an understanding, again, of what service you're going to suggest to the client and how often they are going to be in. How do you feel about regrowth? Really getting an understanding of if that gray and white around the temple and the sides is going to drive them crazy. What do we need to do? That's also, for me, I'm putting in the back of my head, if she's really talking to me about how it drives her nuts seeing that new growth, then at home products, I need to make sure that she has something that she can either spray on, be it the wand that you sell at the salon or the color spray to address that, in between services, because I want my clients to look good all times. What colors are you interested in? Do you like warm tones? Do you prefer cool tones? It is always intriguing to me when I talk to my brunettes and they're like, my hair goes red. Well, of course it does. You have brown hair. And my blondes that don't like the brassy gold that comes up. Well, yes, if you're a darker blonde, you are going to fade gold. If you're a brunette, you are going to fade some form of red or red-orange. That's for me to know and for me to educate with them. So do they like warmth? Are they into richness? For my brunettes, do you like a rich chocolate tone? No, I hate red. It's always important for you to really give some examples so that they can understand. I have clients that are like, I don't know what you mean by tone, warm tone. What's that mean? So I show visuals. I show pictures. Pictures, images are beautiful. I have a Pinterest page that has, reds, blondes, brunettes, balayage, short hair, bangs, so that I have all different types of examples for my clients so that she and I can get on the same page with what we're looking for. If it's something that, she can't quite describe and explain, well, I want to make sure I have a visual there so that it will help describe and explain the scenario. Another thing about what colors are you interested in? Another thing about asking that is you're going to get a lot of times what they don't want, and I love it. I want to keep that on my list of what they don't want. I don't want it fried. I don't want it ashy. I don't want it brassy. I don't want to see any warmth. I want to be lighter, but not that light. I've absolutely had clients tell me, I want to be warm, but not that warm, light, but not that light. I want it piecey, but not chunky. It's like, okay. And she's explaining dimensional tones. It's not wrong what's being explained, but definitely visuals will help both parties get on the same page. Do you want your color to whisper? Do you want it to talk, or do you want it to scream? I like talking about that because that's really hitting on the intensity of the tones. Do we want the red to be screaming, or are you looking for a chocolate brown? So like in my hair, and I think we can see it in this light, I have a few, old balayage pieces in here, but you can definitely see that I have some warmth there, but this would be a whisper. I am certainly not living in the world of red, red, red. It's rich. It's not ashy. It's not cool. And you can see the warm tones. So this would be a whisper where, screaming would be a bright, vibrant copper red. That's the screaming. So does she want her color to speak before she walks into the room? Or is she looking for something a little softer and a little more demure? That helps me understand not only my client's personality, but the overall desire of what she's looking to create. Do you want dimension? Are we looking for something more all over, nice, rich, bold? Or are we looking for something that might be done through a sectional effect, where I'm putting darker, cooler tones underneath and gradually taking sections and adding warmth or going lighter? Or am I looking for something where I actually have warm, cool colors sitting right next to cool colors, which would create a pop of dimension? Or if I'm looking for lighter browns next to darker browns, light blonde, ash blonde next to a dark blonde, am I looking for dimension that way? So understanding if they want dimension and then what type of dimension, for me is a really fun exercise, again, of looking through different images and getting that understanding. What kind of highlights are they looking for? So if it is something where she's like, absolutely, I want dimension, then from there, what kind of dimension are we looking for? Do we want something soft and blended? Do we want something piecey where they're going to be a little more pop to the tones and the color and the size? Or do I want something absolutely bold, absolutely chunky, and really standing out? And those visuals are going to be a key for you and the client to become as one with understanding what chunky is versus really soft blended dimension. The next question I ask is, how often do you shampoo your hair? This tells me about home maintenance, and this is going to give me direction and guidance on home care as well. In the world of being able to buy anything online, it's different. There's a lot of clients of mine that buy online versus purchasing in salon. And we have online sales for, products with our salon. They can go on and book appointments and buy products and have everything shipped home. But there are some people that get products somewhere else, so they found something that they like or whatever. In the beginning of this whole movement of buying online, it was so frustrating and overwhelming for hairdressers because there's a element of, we get commission on those products, but also you want your clients to support the salon and your community. Ultimately for me, I think I had to let go and let God on the whole situation, because most important thing for me is I want my clients to use products that are going to suit what their hair needs. So for me, I'm a colorist, first and foremost. And so that means that every one of my clients that interacts with me has a relaxer, a permanent wave, a color or a highlight on there. And so, or a keratin. And so for that, they need to use a product that's going to be friendly to that. So with keratin smoothing treatments, I have to have it sulfate free, paraben free. They need to have a product that's going to support. For my color, for my reds, for my, brunettes, I need them to have a shampoo that's going to know foreign object, aka dirt and oil, versus color molecule. I cannot have my clients that have just put this beautiful rich red using a regular shampoo, because it will go in and it will remove anything foreign, and color molecule is foreign if you're not using a shampoo that's for color treated, for highlighted hair, or for chemically treated hair. And so there is so many important elements to understanding what products they use, but how often they use them. So how often do you shampoo your hair? I have naturally curly hair. I iron curl my hair. I color my hair. I balayage my hair. So I do a lot to my hair. And my hair is naturally dry. I have to use a chemically treated shampoo that's going to put moisture in there, but also give a little strength and give a little life to it. But if I shampooed every day, my hair would be extremely dry and brittle. So I don't shampoo every day. For me, I shampoo twice a week, and that works great for me. But somebody that has excessively oily hair, they can't do that. they're going to need a shampoo that's going to slough and really cleanse and remove that oil buildup. And so that is going to be more of an everyday situation. So really understanding the regimen at home and what's going on helps you as an artist really determine the proper products. And it's also going to reinforce what services you're going to be doing. Treatments in salon, maybe glosses, toners in salon, in between the main services. So much comes from just how often you shampoo your hair, I know. What products do you use to clean, to moisturize, and then to style your hair? So once I get an understanding of how often they shampoo, then I want to understand, how often do you do a treatment? How often are you doing a mask? How often, do you style your hair, style your hair with a flat iron, wash and go, so that I can get a full understanding of the regimen that they are doing in the bathroom every morning. And then I ask my clients to share with me 1 or 2 of their biggest challenges that they have with their hair. What do you hate about your hair? I mean, that's such an important question because I want to know what they don't like. I want to know what frustrates them. I want to know how I can help them. So if I can help them dry their hair faster, create a curl that's going to hold in their hair, make the color last longer or appear cooler, whatever it is, if I can bring information to that, that's the name of the game. That's why I'm here. So I really do want to ask about what are your challenges and where are you looking, to take your hair, and what are you looking to, have it shiny? Do you want texture? Do you want volume? What's your overall desire for that? And what do you love about your hair? I want to know the challenges and the things they hate, and I want to know what they love about it. That's so important. And so for me, I like asking, what do you love about it? What do you hate about it? And really taking that all in. These are pieces of information that I will add in when I go to the mixing area. I have a little card file on all my clients, and I will add that in there, things they love about their hair, things they hate. And also I might write down, what's going on, really lonely, really having a hard time. That might be something that I will reach out later on and just send a text, thinking about you, I hope you're doing all right. Feel free to come back in for a treatment, or we could just do a blow dry and an airwave a style in between services. Anything to continue the connection. I mean, these are human connections that we have with our clients, and it's real. So for me, my memory is not always as tight. So keeping it on card file, that way I know, where to check in and where to follow through with my clients and maintain that information that I received about what they love and what they don't love, and where their goals are for their hair and their overall style. It's so important. Some of the things with a consultation is really paying attention to the body language and understanding the person sitting in your chair. For me now, doing hair for so many years, I fake it till I make it really smoothly. So it's most likely you wouldn't know that I'm uncomfortable. If you were really close to me, you would know I get a little louder and I talk a little faster when I'm nervous. But overall, when I meet new people, or if I have somebody that's a little more intimidating, you wouldn't really know it. I just work through the system of a consultation. But it's always important for the new people that I'm meeting that I continue to read their body language and their eye contact. So when I interact with people and I'm meeting them and we're in the consultation phase and they're doing a lot of this, a lot of their head down and not really comfortable talking with me in the mirror, I will come around front and sit or stand in front of the mirror and talk face to face with them. I think for us, we're very comfortable talking all day long in a mirror. It's what we do. For people that aren't as comfortable or secure in that way, it's totally strange. So alleviate that third party, that mirror, and come around front, and then you'll notice them soften up a little bit. For people that have a little bit of a softer demeanor, for somebody like me, I'm very loud, I'm very confident, I'm very out there. So when I notice people have a little bit of a softer demeanor and a little bit of a lower tone of voice, I will drop my tone of voice as well and soften everything. You want to meet them where they are. I don't want to be this boisterous, outgoing thing and offset that any. I want to open the opportunity up for communication, and I want them to be as comfortable as possible. And if I'm meeting them with more energy than what they're comfortable with, that's not going to help the matters any. So I definitely pay attention to eye contact, body language. If, as I'm speaking, I notice my client crossing their arms, I'm really going to look at what I'm talking about and maybe pull back a little bit. When I see arms crossed, that's somebody closing off, somebody judging, somebody really putting a barrier. So I want to understand, what did I say, what did I do to put that barrier up? If I notice that they sit down and they're like this, that tells me that there's some uncomfortableness, there's some insecurity, there's some blocking off, I'm closing out. So I'm going to want to really be open and really guide that consultation through questions of getting them to open up and tell me about themselves. Where do you work? Where do you live? Have you been in the area long? Do you know other stores or businesses around here that you might suggest for me? Really trying to open up the banter between us as human beings before I get into their look, their image, and what trends and where we're going to go with their hair. Definitely trying to open up that connection with somebody with their arms crossed like that, because it is directly showing you that they're closed off. So read into those body language signs, read into the eye contact, and pay attention to the tone of voice when you're in the consultation as well. Those are my basics for a general color consultation, and I will be posting more consultations for different services on this site. I hope you press the like button, and I hope you subscribe to my station. This is Susie Powers for Hair Color Education. Thank you so much.